Well, then normally people say they come on this day and that day. Right? So what is up? What is up? Pagan festival called Christmas. Fear of death. 2000. We're all going. And we're all going to do it. So what are we afraid of? We just don't know when we are going to die. The moment we are born, the day of our death has been programmed into this body. So, no matter what, we're going to die. And what is going to die? Of course, we say we are going to die, then everything is going to die. But what actually is happening, when we think about what makes us are the 5 khandhas, the 5 groups, and only one of the groups is the group of the body. And this group of the body is going to die. So, and what are the other groups doing? Like feeling, the groups of memory, the groups of thinking, and the group of consciousness. I mean, they are in no way in the body. They're distinct from the body. So where are they going to be after our death? We are just looking for a new body. That's all what is happening. We're going to die, we're going to be born again. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to come into a new human body. We can be reborn in an animal body. We can be reborn in a deva body, that means a heavenly body. Or we can be reborn in hell. Or with no body. But memory is still working. The other khandhas are still working if you don't have a body. So we still memorize having a body. We still have feelings. No, not bodily feelings, mental feelings. The moment we remember something, something comes up. So it's really not a good solution, to kill oneself. Because all what one kills is the thing that, it's called the body group. And the rest of it, the body was the one that really produced the least amount of suffering, the least amount of dukkha. I mean, what produced the most amount of dukkha was memory and thought. So we get rid of the group, that really doesn't cause the dukkha. Just by killing oneself. So does it really make sense, huh? And does it really make sense, to get afraid of death? Does it really make sense? I mean, in the moment we close our eyes and we fall asleep, we are not aware of this body anymore. So what is it really to get afraid of? The moment we wake up again, we get aware of the body. Are we afraid while we are asleep? That we have no body? No. But this fear drives us crazy. I'm going to die. Oh, the fear of pain. I'm going to have a lot of pain. And everybody else can use this fear against it. We are afraid of people that can hurt us. We are afraid of animals that can hurt us. And because of these things, we do a lot of things that are not really wholesome. Let's wait until it's got a bit quiet. What's the day today? 27th or 26th? Alice, what's the day today?
I'm not sure about it.
So what is it that is afraid? Let's try to locate this fear. I mean, there is fear. Where is it hiding? Where does it come from? There's fear of death, there's fear of pain. Where does it come from? And in the moment we say we are afraid or we are in pain, we cannot separate it out. We cannot look at it properly. So, the first thing is, we distance ourselves from the thing that is happening. And say, there is fear. So, and then we can try to locate it. Where is this fear? Or there is pain. Where is this pain? Where does it come from? And who is the one who knows about the pain? Does the pain know about that it's pain? Just question it. Just ask yourself, doesn't pain really know it's pain? Does the fear know it's fear? Does the depression know it's depression? So who is the one who knows all these things? And can the one who knows all these things, can it be the things itself? No. I mean, we can make a very, very simple example. If you see something in front of us, an object that is in front of us, just like the spittoon that is in front of us, you can say, that's not me, that's the spittoon, it looks like this, it looks like that, it has this kind of use, it has that kind of use, then we put it down and we put it away. But we never call it us, we never call it ourselves. We just say, there is a spittoon, and then we can use it. And so it's the same thing, We can say there is fear. So what is it? Where is it coming from? Because all our life we are afraid of pain, and we are afraid of fear. And other people use our fear, and they tell us, if you don't do this, you will die a horrible death, and then you're going to do it. Or if you don't do this, I don't give you anything to eat, and you will die the death of starvation. Or I don't give you any water, and you die the death of thirst. And then we do the things, even if we don't want to do them in the beginning. Somebody, just makes us a fear. Or if you don't say this to me, I'll torture you. And our limit of pain is very little so. Sooner or later we will do, because we are afraid of torture, we are afraid of pain, we are afraid of starvation, we are afraid of thirst, and we are afraid of death. If we overcome death, nobody can use us anymore. We experience a certain level of freedom. But just see, how the world is working, and you will see it. People who are in power use the fear of others to control them. And it's pretty successful. So what is fear? And what is going to die? When we look at it, the body is going to die. So, it's one of the groups. And what happens to the rest? And they just stick around with us, looking for a new body, And if they have enough merit, then they can get another human body. If they have more than enough merit, then they can get a heavenly body. If they don't have enough merit, then they go to the lower realms. Get an animal body, or a ghost, or demon, or in the hell realm. But we are not going to die. At least when we say about it, we. What is the we? What is the I? It is made out of 5 components. And that's why in our process of meditation, in our process of practice, we have really to understand these 5 components that make us, that make mine, that make myself. But the first thing that the Lord Buddha taught us is, this is not me. That does not belong to me. This is not myself. And what did he say? This is not me. This does not belong to me. This is not myself. He was exactly talking about these 5 groups. These 5 groups. The group of the body, the group of feeling, the group of memory and association, the group of thinking and consciousness. He said, these are not me. These are not mine. These are not myself. They don't belong to us. So what is it actually that belongs to us? I mean, we can't imagine it. Nothing belongs to us. So what is that one thing that knows all these things? I mean, there must be something, and there's something left, and if we would just do our practice, we would see it. We would experience for ourselves what is left. When everything is going to die, and just in the practice of samadhi, we can find that out. The first thing that when we practice our samadhi, when we concentrate on one point, then suddenly, sooner or later the thought will stop, and then we are in a completely different realm. That's interesting. That's called access samadhi, or upachara samadhi. And then we go concentrating on, just on this one point, until we get one pointed. And if you get one pointed, everything else has to disappear. I mean, the body will disappear, feeling will disappear, memory will disappear, thought will disappear, consciousness will disappear, everything will disappear. And with consciousness disappearing, the whole universe will disappear. And what is left? One pointedness. What is that? I mean, that is the closest thing to what we can call is us. But the moment we're going into the state of appana samadhi, as it is also called, or deep state of samadhi, then there is no personality anymore. Because the personality disappears with these 5 khandhas. And for that moment being where we are in one-pointedness, the 5 khandhas are not working, are not inside, are not interfering. This is true state of the citta. And that's what we can call the citta. It's knowingness. It's clear, crisp knowingness. That's it. That's what is left. There's no personality about this knowingness. I know. That's not I know. There's just knowing. And there's nothing knowing. It's not knowing an object. That's certainly not it. It's just knowing. I mean, how can we imagine it? Because it's beyond our imagination. Because thought and memories don't work in this realm. So that the closest description can be, just clear, crisp knowingness. I mean, it's for us to go into the state and experience for ourselves. That's all what we can do. If you really want to know what it's all about, if you really want to know what is left over, it's up to us to go. And actually it's not difficult. All what we need is to keep our concentration on one point until we get one-pointed. No, it doesn't sound very difficult. We need only what we need to do is have a lot of determination and put a lot of effort in our practice, and whenever the mind goes astray, then we put it back to the one point. Be it the Buddha, or be it the mental repetition of the Buddha, or be it just keeping our attention onto the tip of the nose and observing the breath coming in, breath going out. So, and if you understand it now, when I say, what is left is the knowingness, I mean then you will understand the method that will work to get us to this knowingness, because we are exercising the moment we do Buddha. We know if the Buddha is fast, we know if the Buddha is slow, we know if the Buddha is deep, we know if the Buddha is shallow. We know if the breath is coming in, we know if the breath is going out. We know if the breath is shallow, we know if the breath is deep. We know if the breath is at its height or it's just changing from in-breath to out-breath. That is knowing about the breath, or it's knowing about the Buddha. So this kind of knowingness will lead us to the knowingness of our citta. Oh, great. That's why this method works. It has to work. And everybody who does it, for this person it will work. It will work. And of course this citta will never die. How can it die? Because it has never been born. It has never arisen, and it will never cease. And that is for most of us who wake up, sometimes in our daily life we have the feeling of being immortal. And of course we are immortal. But the things around us are not immortal. The 5 groups that we are constantly associated with are not immortal, because they follow the laws of anicca. Everything of these 5 groups is anicca. It is born and it dies. It arises and it ceases. Including the body. We know. The body is born and it ceases. It will die sometimes, sooner or later, depending on the law. The moment it is born, it has its validation date. And on that date, it will disappear. So, and the same thing, anicca also holds true for feelings. We don't have a constant feeling. Our feelings are constantly changing. Now it's a pleasant feeling, then it's an unpleasant feeling, it changes to a pleasant feeling again, or it is a neutral feeling, whatever. There's nothing constant. So this cannot be us. If you think about something, if you really have that belief that we are immortal, then we have to think about something that is really immortal, that doesn't change. Isn't it? So what doesn't change? So feeling doesn't. Feeling changes all the time. Memory changes all the time. Now we have this memory, then we have that memory, and then we have this memory again. Thought always changes. Our ideas, our opinions, our views that are made of thought and memory are constantly changing. So there cannot certainly be us, and there certainly cannot be mind, there certainly cannot be immortal. And consciousness changes all the time. This, of course, is much more difficult for us to see. Because the moment consciousness disappears, the world disappears. To experience consciousness to disappear, our sati has to go extremely. We have to be extremely mindful to see. Just like, trying to figure out, next time you sit in a movie, try to see, frame by frame. It's very difficult to see. But when you look at the process in a movie, I mean, it's just one frame that comes after the next frame. And that the same thing happens to consciousness. Between one frame of consciousness and the next frame of consciousness is a frame of dark. It has ceased to exist and it comes back in its system. And from one frame of consciousness to the next frame of consciousness we draw a line and say, okay, there's future and there's past. That's all what is happening. This consciousness itself, it ceases the same way. So it's anicca. And whatever is anicca, the Lord Buddha called it anatta. It's not self. Because, our true self, or if you say it's a true self, but there is no personality in this self. I mean, just say, true being. And this true being doesn't differ from the person to our left side and to our right side, because they have the same nature. I mean, the nature of a water drop is the nature of water. I mean, now think of us, being water drops in the rain that falls. As long as we fall, we are water drops. Right? And then we look at the next water drop and say, we are bigger, we are more beautiful, we are more powerful. I mean, that's all what is happening. The moment we fall down and become water again and the water drop disappears, I mean, we have the same nature. We have no size, we have no individuality, we have no personality, we have nothing. We are just of the same nature of water. So we cannot really say that we exist, or we cannot really say that we do not exist. But people, when you think about this immortality concept, that something is the immortal, that is the true essence of our citta. But as long as we do not realize it, we do not know. And what keeps us from one life to the next life is karma. And what keeps us from one life to the next life and what keeps this karma up is the kilesas, or is avijja, that have hold of us. And that's all. I mean, understand the mechanism and you can let go of it. And then that's the end of it. I mean, so the first thing when we practice is, the first thing is we get calm. We get in this state of unpointedness. And it's not difficult, we just have to, put all our effort and determination in it. That's it. Get it, know it for yourself, and then you have the assurance that I do not, tell you anything that is untrue. You will realize just the same way as I did. That's it. Okay. And Tanaja Mahaprabhu says, this is the preview of Nibbana. I mean, that is where you see Nibbana. Or where you have a preview. But the preview, of course, is not the same thing as Nibbana. Because the preview is never the same thing as the real thing. You all know it. So, if somebody has its doubt, then just let's go there. We see for ourselves, that's what the Lord Buddha said. He didn't say think for ourselves. He didn't say assume for ourselves. He said, open your eyes and see for yourself. And the moment we open our eyes and see for ourselves, we see it just the way as the Lord Buddha describes it. And then we understand it the way the Lord Buddha, was teaching it to us. And the moment we grasp at the text and we understand it this way. The next time we grasp at the text, we understand it that way. Somebody else comes up, and discuss it with us, and then we understand it in another way. And there are infinite ways of being able to understand a text. Because it has nothing to do with the truth. If we constantly remind ourselves that the text of the Lord Buddha, all the suttas, are pointers to the truth, then actually it tells us that we have to follow the pointers to get to the truth. I mean, we have to walk the path. If we don't walk the path and just think about the results that will happen if we walk, and still sit in our chair, we will never get there. We will never know for ourselves. We might know, if other people have reached them, if they tell us, but we cannot even prove them. I mean, if a person tells us he is in Rome, we cannot prove it unless we go ourselves to Rome. Ah, there you are. Huh? Okay, then we know he's in Rome as well. But if we go to Rome by ourselves and don't see him, then we know he has never reached Rome. I mean, it's so easy. Everything is so easy. And that's the beauty about it. We don't need a lot of brains. We don't need a lot of cleverness to get there, because things are very easy. The mental construction, the things that make us, just as 5 groups rotating constantly like 5 wheels turning within themselves. And the moment we understand it, we can let go of them. They're still turning, but it is just like, with this watch, we open it and we see the world's turning, The moment we close the watch, we have the pointers and we have a time. Then we have past and then we have future. But if we open the watch and then we see, okay, that's just 5 rotating wheels. And these 5 rotating wheels that click into each other, are just the 5 khandhas. And that's all what is. And that's all what we have to understand. So, going back to the past practice is, we just go into samadhi, go into upachara samadhi, in the world beyond thoughts, or go into appana samadhi, where we see reality, where we see the true nature of our citta. And then from that point on, we do investigation. And the first thing that we investigate is the thing that we stick most to the body. So then we investigate the body inside outside, from top to bottom, from bottom to top. Until we understand the true nature of the body. Once we understand the true nature of the body, and of course with the body come the 6 senses, the senses of seeing, of hearing, of smelling, of tasting, of touching, and of thinking, we can let go of the body. And once we can let go of the body, that means we are beyond greed and hate. Once we are beyond greed and hate, then we investigate the rest of the khandhas, the 9 khandhas. This is the khandha of mostly memory and thought. Memory and thought that makes up delusion. So, once we understand delusion, once we understand how delusion is created, how it works us around, then we got rid of already the 3 main armies of avijja. And that is greed, hate, that is rooted in the body, delusion, that is rooted in memory and association and thought. Then we are just left with avijja. And that's it. That's our last work. Once avijja is gone, there's nothing. All the work is done. That's it. It's so simple. So, and with this I stop. If there are some questions,